Yo, how's it going, guys? How are we all doing? Today's video, I wanted to talk about the need for speed. And these are these are gonna be just characters and teams that really require speed and speed mods and speed sets. We're actually gonna take it a step further. We're going to go over, actually, this is going to be the 10 top teams, in my opinion, that I covered a week or two ago. And we're going to go over those teams, and in those teams, who needs the speed. And then also some honorable mentions. But the thing I want to bring up in this, we're going to take a step further, is we're going to talk, about their speed set, but their secondaries, and what other stats of mods you want to go into. So if you guys are geeks about mods like I am, and you want to know more about that, this is going to be the video for you. So let's start us off with some Grievous, because my last video was about Grievous. I'm like, well, let's go do some more Grievous, boys and girls, of course. I'm not sure if there's any girls that watch my channel, but if there is, you guys are awesome. Anyways, let's go and talk about this. So in this team, this is the more offensive team, and even also on defense, Newt gun rate is amazing with the Grievous. You can also toss in Watt, you can toss in Jordica. But the foundation is really just the B2, the B1 with Magna Guard, and also Grievous. And in this one, I would say for sure, hands down, it's going to be B1, because you want him to go first. You want him to be, pretty quick, out of the gate. You want him to get his the Blast Him special off, do some AoEs, get some of that extra healing going if somebody did happen to get hit. And inflict that target lock. And it's kind of important here to go and mod him for a bit more potency. I'm not running the potency. I know, that's not good. But this is just how I have to mod him at the moment. I don't really have much time to remod until the next TW and whatnot. But if I were to really remod this guy, I want to go for speed set for sure. Really, anybody in this list will be having speed sets, but the secondary sets will be potency, because you want to make sure and ensure yourself to land that extra target lock whenever you do go. So he does have some more offense built in. You really want to maximize his offense here. So this is a Relic 4 B1, and he has around 7,300 extra offense. And it's very important to have this, because you got to keep in mind that with his droid battalion, he gets even more offense based off of his stacks. And he always starts off with 100 if you have the Zeta on him. So he's going to have a lot more offense. So you want him to be hitting pretty hard. Also, the potency is nice here, like I just said about the target locks, keeping the train going, because of the Grievous leadership. It fuels off of the target locks and hitting those target locked enemies. So I have around 80% potency here with 305 speed, and extra offense is definitely good. Defense mods do absolutely nothing here for you. This one's just kind of fast and has some potency. This one's just fast as offense, and everything else kind of mixed in with some extra speed. It's nothing crazy here, guys. Nothing crazy. And I also want to make a point here that he already has a pretty high base potency. So if you wanted to, you could just do a potency set. Keep this mod, though, the cross on offense, and just have another one here that's a bit faster, because you are going to have a lot more extra potency from that secondary mod set, right? So that's B1. Speed, potency. That's what you want to have. More offense, speed, and potency. That's the main three for B1, all right? So that's that team. This team is the Bounty Hunters. So the Bounty Hunters can go a lot of different ways for where you want to use them, the leads and whatnot. I would say the best three right now are for sure Bosk, Django, and the Mando. And I guess the new Mando, the best card one's not Bounty Hunter, but he's also up there right now with Scoundrels. But in this team, I'm just going to talk about the Django/Bosk teams. And especially in those two, the one guy that you want to have pretty dang fast is going to be Bosk. He actually has a pretty decent high base speed. So the mods here I'd go for, again, it's going to be speed set. I'm not going to keep re-saying that, but just know it's always speed sets plus another extra set. So he's going to have that set, and you want to have him pretty fast, because in this team, and really any Bounty Hunter team, you want him to get off his taunt first to get out that frenzy. That way, when another Bounty Hunter goes afterwards, you're going to reset his cooldown and be able to have him get 100% TM. Or not reset his cooldown, but give him a turn pretty much, and he can use his huge mass assist. And that's pretty huge to get that contract going, especially in his contract with his lead, or in the Jango Fett's lead as well. So having that first one being speed and the second one being health is actually a pretty good one. I've also seen people using either defense or tenacity, but just for me keeping it simple, I just think health is the way to go. And the mods you want to be looking at here, of course, speed on the arrow, protection everywhere else, for sure, because you want to have him just stack up the protection, because actually, if you guys do not know this, I want to say it's on his one unique here. It says, it says rather, Bosk has 50% defense and 50% max health while he's taunting, and he gains extra offense and health steal, and it just really stacks up. So you want to really make sure when he does taunt with that protection, that defense is going to stack up even higher and higher. And I think I want to say it's on another special here, maybe on his lead. Yeah, his lead. I forget about his lead sometimes. His lead rather gives out more max protection and tenacity. So that max protection makes him a very, very tanky character. And it also says when they're at full health, they have that extra defense. So you're talking about, with this guy being the lead, 100% plus 50% defense. And then adding on the protection from his lead, that's going to make him very tanky. So you for sure want to go for full-on protection here to make sure that it's harder to break through that pool and going into dip into the health pool rather. That way you can rather ensure that your boss has all that defense. So I would still go for health, but I would say another good secondary would be defense as well. Just make sure that he has a lot of protection and he's fast. That is so simple for Bosk. Nothing more to it. Yeah, you could go and talk about Jango Fett being pretty fast, but in my opinion, Bosk definitely has to be the fastest, 100%. And that's what this whole video is about. It's just who is the one that needs to be the fastest. So that's the Bounty Hunters. The next up here is Padme and the GR, the Galactic Republic. In this one, I think it's kind of simple as well. You can always toss out a couple of these guys and toss in some more because of that faction is so vast and huge. Like, for example, you toss out Barris, you can toss back in Grandmaster Yoda. And, you know, interchanges of those, and it's always good to see. But just for, like, the main guys, this is, like, a pretty standard team I see a lot, and I also use a lot. In this team, and really in any team in general, when it is regarding Padme, you always want to have Padme being one of the fastest. Although I say that, you can probably, if you want to go back on my channel a year or so ago, I did a lot of slow Padme, but that team and that counter was specifically modded to counter Darth Revans and Malix. But since then, there's a lot more counters to that team. You don't have to have Padme for that use anymore. So instead, what you want to use her for with their mods is go for some speed. So that's what I did. I know I don't have a speed on her right now, but you can definitely have her be pretty fast with just a full health set. So I think mine's around the 300 mark. She has a speed arrow and she has some extra health added on and a potency one. I wanted to go talk about this in particular here in a little bit. So for Padme, you could definitely do a speed set, which is nothing bad at all. But in my opinion, you know, with her leadership being all about health, going for a full health set is really the best in my opinion. Although I've definitely seen a lot of people using speed and it's okay as well. Just me being Relic 3 and low Relic for Padme, I want to make sure I can get even more health added on from those sets. So that's what I went for. So Padme, being able to have her fast in the team and using either her cleanse, getting out more courage stacks, or just go for a huge on kick, definitely great, guys. She is one of my favorite characters still in the game. She is so fun to play with, and she's so I mean, she's like, I still want to say she's like one of my favorite, even like the best team in the game, but like there's a lot better, I would say now, like CLS and whatnot with the Chupio. So Padme's still a lot of fun, guys. I still have a soft spot in my heart for her. But going back on to the mod side of things, 300 speed, definitely you want to have her fast, a lot of health. But like I said, I mentioned there, with that potency cross, there's going to be some times where you need that cross if you're fighting some guys that have high tenacity. One team I fought recently is a team with Beskar Mando, and they toss in the nest with high tenacity, and for those ones, you definitely want to have some high potency. You're not really a high potency Padme, but just easily slap on a potency cross. That way, you can make sure you land some of those stuns on her kick, and her kick can't, you can't dispel it, and you can't copy it. So it can't be resisted, and that's why you want to have potency. But when you land it, it sticks. You can't cleanse it. It just sticks there for a whole turn, and that's huge for countering some nests and some other high tenacity teams. So that's a great way to use her. I guess a side note for Anakin as well, having him on it for that potency cross is equally as important to land that healing immunity on some of those guys as well. But definitely for Padme, I think it's like one of my favorite builds for her. Just a lot of extra health and speed, and that potency cross is definitely useful, guys. So that's Padme. The next one here I want to talk about is Mon Mothma. I know that these are not the most ideal teams, but these are some of the ones I think are still going to be pretty good for most people out there. I've seen Clash use the K2 and the Cassian one. I want to talk about one with the Wigs, Kara, and the Scout with, of course, Mon Mothma. So in this one, Mon Mothma already does gain extra speed from her unique on This Is Our Rebellion. 50 extra speed is pretty huge, but she's actually not the one you want to have the fastest in this one. Even though it might seem you want her, you don't really want her that fast. Instead, you want to mod somebody else like Cara Dune or Hoth Rebel Scout for that extra speed. And I was kind of thinking about this beforehand in the video, who would be the one that I would want to save for this video to be the fastest. And I really still don't know, because if you're having a team that is centered around these two guys with Cara and the Hoth Rebel Scout, they both have a lot of fun stuff added in. So one thing about Cara is her huge AoE that actually removes turn meter from the enemies. And also, she's a rebel fighter, so whenever you are using an ability, she is calling everybody else to assist with the Mon Mothma lead. So that also can have a proc chance to have him give out even more TM on his basic. So the more I think about it, I do think that in this team in particular, having Cara being one of the fastest, if not the fastest, is probably the best bet. That way you have the turn meter reduction on her AoE, and then that chance to assist and have the scout give out even more turn meter. I think that's probably the best way to go, because if you do the flip side and the other way around, having the scout go first, you don't have that Cara huge AoE TMR happening, and you really want that to happen first. So I would say Cara Dune being one of the fastest here is going to be the best bet. So mine's gear 12. Speed set is for sure what you want to rock here. The secondary set, I would say go for some potency. Potency is definitely great here because you can actually have some of the turn meter removal being resisted, and you don't want that to have happen at all. I do know that she gets some potency up from this special, but for the first turn being used this special, you want to make sure that that actually does happen and that lands. That way you get out in front of the enemies before they can really do much of anything to you. So having her modded for speed set and a potency set with, I would even say, as you get her with higher gear and even gear 13 with relics, go for potency on the cross. So mine's not even great whatsoever, but if I were to remod her right now, speed arrow, of course, protection on this one, potency on this one. You go, I guess, for the wherever you are with relics or gear, you can either go for health or protection. I would still say go for protection. And then, you know, just trying to get extra potency added in every so often. I think I've seen some relic Caras with being modded that way. They are still very tanky. Mine is only gear 12. She is 62k protection. I can easily see that number going up into the 90k rather, or 100k if you have her with relics, guys. She is super actually fast, and this is not my fastest set. I actually was able to get her up to around 310 speed, 314 speed, I think is the number there, a couple GAC rounds ago, and I got some holds because of how fast she was out in the field. She did her whole throw, AoE, TMR. It was awesome. So Cara Dune, I think, is definitely one you want to have fastest here in your teams here. So that's that. And the next ones I want to kind of go over here, it's going to be, we're going to just kind of spitball some of these, and not really spitball, but just go fire through some of these guys, because these ones are pretty easy for me and for most people out there. So this one, Darth Revan Sith Empire. This is simple as can be, pretty much. Darth Revan has to be the fastest one here because you want that fear out of the gate. And you could probably make an argument for the fastest set on the team need to be on Bastila Shaun of Fallen, but with how I've been running this team, I don't need that, and most people don't even like that way anyways. But for sure, Darth Revan needs to be one of the fastest one there, just to make sure he gets the fear off. You get that whole ferocity stack swing for your whole team, then that ensures that they can't be debuffed when they have those debuffs on them already. I think that's how it goes. I could be a bit wrong there. But just making sure the Frosty lands, you get more speed going for the entire team, rather. So nothing too crazy. Darth Revan's Darth Revan. You want to have a lot of speed on him. Nothing too crazy. You could definitely go for more protection based on him for the other set, or you go for some more some more potency, I guess, to land some of those debuffs. But for me, just go for more protection and survivability because you want him to survive a little bit longer. So that's him. The next up here is going to be Gas in the 501st. In this one, I would say Rex definitely needs to be the fastest. In any clone team, Rex needs to be the fastest. You can also bring up to the point, into the argument, Shock T being one of the fastest as well. And that just kind of depends on where you want to use these guys. For me, right now at the moment, I definitely want Shock T being the fastest. But in this 501st one, Rex is definitely one you want to have the fastest. So this guy is extremely simple. He is so similar to some of these other ones. You want to just have him speed set, health set, and try to squeeze in protection everywhere as you possibly can, guys, and try to get him as fast as you can. So mine's at 295. Get him up around that, close to 300, I'd say is a good mark. But another thing I want to, talk about here with him, if you guys might have forgotten this, is that he actually gains even more percent speed based on all 501st allies. So he gets, I think in this, there's 5 others, around 20%. Or is that for each? No, that's for each one. So that counts himself. So he actually gets around 20%, I think. because there's 5 others, and that's 4 times 5. So that's 20% extra speed on this team here, and that's just kind of crazy to me because you don't have to mod him, extremely fast, 320, 330, whatever it might be. Get him like around 300, have that unique play in the part, and you're going to go first every single time, guys. It is so fun to see. Get that form up going, the TM to everybody else, so huge. So that's them. The next up here is going to be the clones, or not clones, gosh. Going to be the Imperial Troopers. Not sure why I said clones there, but the troopers here. And this one, in my opinion, can be between these two guys here, Stark and Piet. And I want to say in this one, at least, go for Piet just because of one thing, and that's because he has a higher base speed. It's easier to get him faster than Stark. But in all reality, it does not matter who is faster between the two. But for just the pure, simplistic when it comes to modding people, just go for whoever is already a faster base speed, and that's going to be Piet here. So to mod, I guess even him or modding Stark, you want to go for some potency to land some of the dazes, and for Stark landing some more of those debuffs on his basic and also his other AoE. So go for speed set, go for some potency, but go for crit damage because you want to have him hitting hard as you get more of those stacks of Emperor's Trap going for you. Also, I think I got a protection one there just to make him a bit more tanky and beefy. He actually hits extremely hard once you get those stacks of Emperor's Trap going. So that crit damage triangle is going to be so huge for you guys. So he's very simple. Some speed and some potency and some extra crit damage as well. And then we're going to wrap it up here with a couple more teams, guys. This is going to be extremely long of a video. I'm sorry, but I have to do this video. It's going to be a good video, I feel like. This next one is going to be the Rebels. And in this one is going to be a hard one for me, and this is why it's a bit later on the list. You can definitely say CLS, and I'm going to actually not say that for this video because of where they're going to be used right now in the game a lot. Defense, offense, everywhere pretty much. They're being used all over the place. And with CLS's lead, you got to keep in mind that they get a lot of turn meter whenever you get resist, and also whenever any other rebel ally is getting hit, he gets even more TM, and also he gives out turn meter whenever he inflicts a debuff. So he's going to be going a lot, guys. So much turns with him, and that's the reason why I don't feel like you have to have him as fast anymore. So outside of CLS, who should be fast? And for me, I want to say Han Solo, because he's going to be so great having fast, getting out even more turns to the team. He hits twice, so that's even more chances to get even more resist happening for your team. And even more so in mirror matches, now the thing is, whoever is the fastest Han Solo, they get to shoot first, guaranteed. It's not a coin flip anymore. So whoever is the fastest, you want to have them go first. So that's why I would say even more so to the point in the fact to have Han Solo go and be the fastest one on the team. So to mod him, this is my favorite way to mod him, and I wouldn't say it's the best, but for me at least where I use him the most, gotta be the best way. I feel like it's such a huge waste to use that crit chance set. Always want to go for crit damage or offense on the off chance. Crit damage is my favorite though because of the mods I have for him. And then the second set being health. So go for speed on nearly everything, guys, and try to maximize his offense where you can. So I have some pretty crazy mods. I love this character a lot, so that's why I have a pretty good hefty chunk of mods on him. But go for crit damage, go for offense everywhere you can. Health is better on the circle over protection. But just make him fast, make him hit hard. He'll be doing you guys great things everywhere you want to use him. So that's Han Solo. And the next ones I want to talk about here is going to be Hux in the 501st. I just said it. It's going to be Hux. Hux is so great with this team. You want to have him be pretty fast. That way he gives out extra turns on this Devious Scheme special or have a huge mass assist here. And just having him very fast helps a lot just so you can get out some more turns and make it a bit harder for the enemies to take control of the battle. Especially in Kylo Ren's and in the GL Kylo Ren's, having him really fast and going for maybe like a JKR or maybe even any other character that maybe is pretty scary to fight, having him be the first one to go alleviates some of that stuff, and it just takes it all away because of how fast he is. So having really fast does help a lot. So you want to have him a speed set here, but the other set I don't have right now would be a tenacity set, and you want to have him modded for a lot of tenacity to stop some of those counters that apply debuffs. So having him with a tenacity cross and a tenacity other set here with speed set helps you a lot. And if you wanted to, you can definitely go for some more protection, make him a lot more tanky and beefy as a character because he's actually a pretty hefty character, guys, already as is. So this is mine right now. He has actually got already a high base tenacity, but you want to have him even higher for some of those teams and stopping of counters. So that's him, Hux. Very simple, straight to the point. Next ones here, I'm going to just go and rifle through. These are no-brainers to me. JKR for the whole Jedi faction. Definitely want to be the fastest one here so you get the focus off. And the sets you want to rock here is going to be health and speed with as much protection added on as you possibly can. And health as well. I'm not a big big guy for crit damage on the triangle for him. You want to have him just be a bit more tanky. That way he doesn't die. He can ensure that savior does happen if it does. So that's him. And I guess you can even toss in Hermit Yoda. He wants to be pretty fast as well to get off these specials and to make the team even faster going with that extra heal on this basic, right? So that's him and the Jedi. And then the other ones I want to go over here are some of these really, really important ones for killing GLs. The one I'd say is one of the most important one I'd say is Darth Vader, just because not only in GL counters, but countering other teams like a Padme or a Grievous, you want to have him be pretty fast. So I know he's one of the hardest ones, if not he is the hardest guy to mod in the game when it comes to the depth of mods you have to have on him, but having him pretty fast allows you to kill a lot more things that you guys might have thought of. He is so great to have with speed, but also making sure that he has those other important stats. I'm not going to go over just his mods in general, but if you guys want to, I think I have a video for that I did a little while ago. But definitely want to have Vader pretty fast, as well as Thrawn, because you want to have Thrawn get that fracture off early and the TM swap as well for those counters. He's going to be used a lot of different spots. He's very plug and play, as well as Wat Tambor is right here. So with Wat, he is going to be very simple. You want to have him with a bit more potency and speed set and some more protection, health added in where you guys possibly can get that. Making sure that he lands those debuffs when you get those extra assists on the team. More debuffs for the Vader counter makes even more damage for Vader doing his cloning blades. So that's Wat Tambor. And then to wrap it up, guys, this is the last stuff, is the honorable mentions, the ones that I didn't have on this list, but are definitely great ones to have. So this is going to be GBA for the Geos. Having this guy very fast makes it a bit harder for the Trey Siren stuff to work, and just make it a bit easier for you, even to use on offense if you guys want to use these guys on offense as well. Try to get a tenacity with speed set and with tenacity cross, and just push for protection. It's kind of just like Hux. Go for Hux just on those mods. And then over here we got Dooku. Dooku's great with a lot of separatists in the game. He has a very high base speed. And this one I would say you want to mod him similarly to that of a Wat Tambor. But the thing you want to change here is going for a crit damage triangle, because you can actually hit pretty dang hard with relics if you want to get him up with relics. So that's him, speed and potency. And then we got the hero Finn here. And this guy you definitely want to have very fast with either the JTR or with the GL Ray team. And I would say the best way to use him and the best way to mod him, rather, is to have him for a speed set and also a crit chance set. That way you get even more crits and make him even more scary to a Jedi counter to a raid team, or just on offense in general, making sure that you get even more crits off. Definitely great. Although you do get some more crit chance with JTR lead, even then I would say you still want some extra crit chance where you can possibly get it. So that's him. Crit damage as well on him. He's an attacker. You want that. Droideka is up next. This guy is great for speed on some other teams. Like, for example, I use him with my Geos on defense. Having him very fast allows for that Trey Sign counter to be a bit more tricky at times. Even on the Grievous team, he is very good. Making sure that he gets very fast with the mods, and then he can go first, use his damage immunity, and he gets a bit more assists out on the field. So that's him. You can go for a speed set or you can go for offense. But just keep in mind he gets a lot of speed from his extra unique stats here. His 50% extra speed, guys. That's crazy. So I think mine's around 195. He's around, I think he's pushing 300 with that extra unique. So that's him. And the last one here is going to be Spirit. So Spirit's great for the Night Sisters. And definitely great on offense if you want to use him on offense. This is going to be great to just dispel a taunt, dispel some buffs, and allow it for your other, Talzin, Asajj, Daka to get more stuns and control and plagues on other characters. And that's why it's very important to have your Spirit go one of the first, either her or Asajj, just for a buff dispel. I just prefer Spirit being faster because she's actually a lot faster than Asajj is. So that's her. Go for some more speed and potency to land some of those debuffs in the stun, and also some more turn meter because she can remove turn meter on her basics, so you do not want that to be resisted. So go for some potency, go for some crit damage, and go for some more health, or go for health, because the Night Sisters you don't really get much protection back. Go for health and try to stack as much offense as you possibly can on her. So Guys, I feel like I just talked off my head for around 25 minutes, but hopefully you guys learned something here, and you guys might want to make some changes and adjustments to these teams. If there are any ones in any team in particular that you guys want me to go further in on the mods on, just let me know down below, guys, in the comments, or join up in Discord as always. But yeah, if there's any other teams you guys feel like I might have missed out on, let me know. I did not want to cover Galactic Legends in this video. Just not want to do that. Just want to go straight for other non-GL teams, more counters, more really strong defenses. So that's why I did. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a like, share it around, and if you guys are new here to the channel, feel free to sub. That'll probably do it for me today, guys. Thanks for watching, and until next time. See y'all later. Peace out.